We are live.
Woo!
Woohoo. Hello everyone. I am Sandy.
And I'm Chloe.
And this is WordStitch.
and back up your stuff right now. Literally right now, back up your stuff. You guys know I'm saying this because I have just lost some stuff. Back up your stuff right now. I'm in the middle of recovering, hopefully, my stuff, but I lost some stuff today. A lot of stuff, in fact. So, yeah, back up. How are you doing today, Sandy?
So we should totally talk about that. I am currently checking, like, no, the thing is, like, well, first of all, I think you might find your stuff. I think that if you change your password and if you were using Dropbox, you might recover it.
I'm hoping on this.
Because Dropbox shouldn't eat stuff. Like, your computer could eat it, but Dropbox should still have it.
Oh my God, Dropbox will not let you reuse passwords, and they can rot in hell for that. If I want to use my shitty password, I'm going to use my shitty password. It's my call. Anyway.
So today we'll be, I guess, talking about backup methods. I have tons of these. I don't know if all of them are updated. So you're making me think I should go back through and make sure everything is fixed. But Chloe's going to be trying to find some stuff that she lost today. Yeah. And are you doing any writing, Chloe?
It depends on if I find this stuff, I guess.
You're gonna find it. It's gonna be there.
My initial plan for today had been to just mope a whole bunch about this loss, because the thing is that, like, it's not just the words, it's edits. And I guess, like, everybody probably feels a little bit differently about this, but, like, once I've lost an edit, it's gone forever. Like, I will never be able to do that edit again. I'm probably going to publish it with, like, every single one of those typos that I found in that edit, because I will never see them again. They will officially be a blind spot. All of the sentences that I was like, this is an ugly sentence, and I'm rephrasing it, and I cannot believe that Sandy didn't call me out on this hideous sentence. And she beta read it, which is to no fault of Sandy, but, like, I definitely had those thoughts, like, how the fuck was she okay with this sentence? It's a disaster.
Apparently it was fine, whatever sentence we're talking about.
Like, Sandy is not, I should clarify that Sandy is not my copy editor. She's a beta reader. So, like, when she catches things, she does it out of the goodness of her heart. But I still have those thoughts of, like, why was she okay with this?
I never correct your commas. I always figure, like, you're making a conscious choice.
Oh, yeah. My commas, my comma's my choice.
Yes. Right.
What is happening here? I've got this Dropbox thing pulled up, and, like, half the page is falling off of my monitor. I'm going to switch it to my other monitor and see if it makes any difference. But, like, I've got stuff that's in a scroll side that will not. What is happening? What time is it? It is 4:04.
Should we just start writing? Should we start writing so that you can focus on recovering?
Yeah, because I can't figure out what's going on here, and I don't know why it's not letting me see some of the options here. So I do have, oh, good, I already pulled it up. Look at me being responsible in the past, because I'm not responsible right now. Okay, so it is 4 after. It is 5 after, so perfect timing. We're going to write for the next 10 minutes. You guys are going to write. I'm going to attempt to recover this nightmare. Good luck, everybody.
Okay, we are back.
But my file is not.
Oh. So is this like a situation where you'd like accidentally forgotten to save or something for a long time?
No. Kind of. So my Windows at least had an update yesterday. It asked me at like 11 a.m. if I wanted to do an update, and I was in the middle of working, so I scheduled it to happen in the middle of night last night, and then obviously completely forgot about it. So this morning I woke up to all of my files being at their last save point, which was a few days ago because I'm really bad about saving files. Also, like settings on my computer being reset. Like my computer, I don't know what happened with this update, but it was like something went wrong in the middle of the update and it had to do a restore because things like my background theme had changed. I had just changed the theme of my computer background, I don't know, a week ago, because I dual monitor, and one of my monitors is actually a very large television screen. So I had switched it to a very dark background because it was making my eyes bleed. And it's funny because I just realized that, like, I kept getting a notification that my background theme was broken. And it's because I was using this weird thing before that was like my Instagram feed. And it just didn't even click until a couple minutes ago that, like, that's not even the theme that my computer's on, and it hasn't been for a little while now. So yeah. And like we all learned this lesson the hard way many times throughout our lives. I feel like we're all real bad about it, and that's why we constantly tell each other this. But like, you guys should all go save right now.
Yeah, like I'm just thinking to myself, wow, this is definitely the time to go make sure all those backups are working. And it's so easy to forget this
stuff. I think all of my Excel stuff is up to date, though. I don't think I've changed any of that stuff without saving it. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, it's bad over here.
Yeah.
How's you do though? Did you get some writing done?
Yeah, a little bit. Although you're totally freaking me out over the saving. Like Word is such a disaster with this in some ways, right? Because like there is the auto save, but only if you're hooked up to like their OneDrive thing, which is like a pain in the butt. So, I mean, Dropbox is wonderful if you're saving, but it's so easy to forget to save.
Right. And the thing with Word is that they have gotten a lot better, but when your computer goes through an entire flipping restore, it ditches all of that stuff that's supposed to be temporary data. It just ditches all of it.
So your auto saves are gone.
Yeah. And yeah. It's bad. It's real frustrating. But we've all been through it and we've all made it to this point anyways.
I think it's probably, I don't know. I feel like this is the kind of thing where when you're using Word, and you have to, right? Because like you can only do so much in Scrivener, and then at some point you've got to move over to Word so that you can edit. And I think at that point, like it's one of these things where you almost need like toothbrush like habits, right? Like where you religiously close the document at night, because then like if you close it, it reminds you to save it. But like, I mean, that kind of thing.
And even with Scrivener, it auto rebooted Scrivener. I thankfully didn't have anything in it that wasn't saved, but that's something I haven't had Scrivener open for 9 days.
Oh,
9 days ago was when I finished the last thing that I was working on in Scrivener, and it when my computer finally rebooted, it pulled that up as well.
Yeah, wow, that's
so I feel like it's absolutely Word, or not Word, absolutely Windows.
Lindsay points out that she loves Google's automatic save. I agree with this. I think Google is fantastic for like the autosave. Although I've had a really hard time with Google in terms of like editing. And this, I think this could be a generational thing. Like, I just don't like Google Docs as much as I like Word, which
I mean,
I don't even know why.
we both write too long for Google Docs.
Do we?
Docs gets unstable after like 40K.
I mean, Word gets unstable after 40K, right? Like,
no, not like Google Docs does though. Like Google Docs is like you're typing and like it'll be a delay in your characters popping up.
Okay. So
and I know a lot of people handle it by like having each of their chapters be a different file, but I can't handle that.
I mean, that would be a pain when you were then trying to convert it to ebook or print. Sarah says she's working on InDesign today. I love InDesign, Sarah, but it was like a huge learning curve to figure out how to use it. So
I unfortunately learned InDesign in like 2005, so I no longer can use it.
Because it's an Adobe thing and it changes, right?
In 2005.
And I don't think it has an autosave either. I think it has something, but it's not that impressive. So it's the kind of document where you have to be like constantly saving stuff. Because you just never know what might happen. Even though Adobe
has an auto save now, and every single time it happens, I'm like, what the hell, GIMP? Like you're supposed to be too shitty for this.
Well, I think most things have an autosave. The question is like, how good is it, right? Like, when did it autosave last? Did it get the last hour, or like the last day, the last 5 minutes?
Yeah.
What are you gonna lose? And I mean, I put all my stuff in Dropbox, but then like, I don't know, what if Dropbox crashed? I have a backup for that. I back up my Dropbox to something else automatically, theoretically.
But Sarah's saying that hers is even less stable than that for Google Docs. And I will say that is one thing that's nice with Word, is that Word I can use on my phone, and I have very little problems with it. I have very little problems with the larger, like it'll take a minute for it to load. I'm not going to lie and say that like an 80,000 word manuscript pops up immediately on it. It doesn't. But like once I'm in the middle of using it, I don't have any issues using it on that or on my tablet. I wrote all of Beauty and the Boar on my phone.
You know where Word fails though? Like if you have graphics in your document that's long.
Oh, I mean, you're screwed regardless.
You are right. But I usually have something like icons or like little chapter graphics, and I'm the kind of person who feels the need to put those into my documents. Don't do that. Don't be that person. It's bad for Word. Word doesn't like it. It's unnecessary. But yeah, that's yay, Scrivener. Word is as good as we can do. And
Sarah is formatting books on InDesign. I just figured out, like last month, I guess, I figured out how to format paperbacks on Word. And that was a whole flippin' adventure, but like I have it down pat now. And that is a skill to have.
It really is. The InDesign stuff, like I love InDesign. So expensive, but like so worth it if you're neurotic about where the book ends on every page. But wow, like how long did that actually take to learn? I don't know, months. Maybe I'll be learning it forever.
Right. You'll be learning it until you cave and get a Mac so you can do Vellum.
Oh no. After you've gone through all that, you've watched all the videos and such, you know how to do it, then you're suddenly like, oh no. I put effort into this.
Right.
I gotta actually like use it. But okay, so speaking of effort, we need to get back to writing. So
yeah, let's actually be functional this time. I don't know what I'm doing on this sprint because again, my whole life is over because of these missing edits. But the rest of y'all should be writing. Sandy's character is going to save something. Y'all should save something too, like your file.
indeed.
So we will see you guys at 10 of.
Okay, we are back. How'd you do with anything?
I'm here. What are you working on? We never even had that conversation. I'm in such meltdown right now. I have no idea what Sandy's doing right now.
Yeah, no, so I'm like really close to finishing the romance arc for my third book. So I'm trying to finish that this week. And that would be like pretty good. That wouldn't be quite my camp goal, but it would be a like decent, like say 80% of the book kind of goal. And it's a long book, so that would be great. And then earlier in the day I was also revising book 2 and taking out words. Like I'm focused today. There was actual focus and work.
Fantastic.
I don't know how it happened. It looks like some other people. Jay's finished editing a chapter. Nice job. Hopefully some of you with us are writing words also.
My whole day's kind of been a train wreck. It's weird. It's just been a weird day for me. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not even going to try to get anything done because like everything else has broken on me today. So I don't need to break anything else.
Watching, this is totally a rarity for Chloe. This does not happen. She's normally like totally into it. Also, we do have to
work today and 2 of our computers are down.
Wait, what?
I showed up to work today and 2 of our computers were down. Like 2 of the 3 in my department were down. And like I realized that I'm a cake decorator, but like we still need those computers for like everything because that's the world that we live in now. And then we have like brand new register like touchpads and it was broken when I went to buy some eye drops. And then like we've got these new this is the most ridiculous thing. Instead of having the plastic wrapped silverware in the deli, like if you're just buying like a snack from the deli or whatever, and you need like a spoon or a fork, instead of having the old plastic wrapped ones, we now have this like dispenser thing for them. And like the dispenser was broken. I got some yogurt and then the dispenser was broken and I had to like so I'm in a bakery. So we have little sample spoons for like if we're giving out little pieces of key lime pie or whatever. And I had to eat my yogurt with this like little itty bitty spoon.
And there is something novel about that.
By this point, it is 7:15 in the morning. Yeah. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's been a whole day.
So some of the writers with us are getting words in. Lindsay and Anna both did. That's good, guys.
Yeah.
Sarah's still playing around with InDesign, which is again learning curve. That's fine. You might need some hours on that.
This is recovering from a weekend train wreck. But you edited a chapter, and that's the important thing.
That is all good. Man, there are like ups and downs here too, right? And remember back when like the pandemic was still like novel? And we were like,
yeah,
well, it's okay to feel kind of like bad about this right now.
Right.
And now it's been like months. So if you're still depressed over it, it becomes more of like okay, so now I really need to figure out how to cope.
I've been listening to this podcast. I'm sure I've mentioned it on our stream before, but I've been listening to this podcast lately that was started in 2018 and I'm still in 2019 on it, and it's an author interviewing other authors, and at the end of the last one I heard, one of them said to the other, we need to have this conversation like face to face sometime, and I was like, oh, you poor sweet things, that will never happen, our world is over. Like I hope you got it done in the last like 4 months after you recorded this, because you're going to be waiting a long time otherwise.
There are like vaccines on the way. This might actually happen by December or something.
But the one's also in New Zealand. One of the authors is in New Zealand. So like, Lord knows if
we'll be allowed to travel. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, if anybody from New Zealand is going to want to come here, because if I remember correctly, New Zealand like demolished COVID. Like they just like completely closed down, and they're like, we're not letting anybody in until it's over. So they haven't had any cases.
And we're Chloe and I are both in the US, so we're not allowed to go anywhere anymore.
No. No, in all fairness, I don't have a passport though, so I wasn't going anywhere anyway.
Mm, yeah. Okay. I actually, I don't know. I'm feeling decently like I have my little goal book, my you goal girl book.
Yes.
July
That's
looks
somehow
awful.
you're keeping up on?
Well, I try, and then like a month like this, I get to halfway through the month, and there are all these like I have these habit trackers where I'm supposed to be like filling in boxes as I complete things. Like I had like a step goal, and then it's 100 degrees outside right now. So like yesterday, or maybe it was Sunday. Sorry, yesterday was Sunday. I had to like write a like epic fail on that because it's just not
I
going to happen.
mean,
Yeah,
you
but
you
still,
can't help weather when it's like 450 degrees outside. When we're
yeah,
like slowly getting sucked into the sun, you can't go for a walk. You can't get those steps in. What do you do? Walk around your house? You can only do that so
yeah,
long.
yeah.
Also, yeah, it looks like she is going through some stuff right now. I
Hit her
have
with her book.
switched. I have switched from third pass to first present before. And that was insanity that I would like to never do again.
Yeah, but she's also undeading a character and unmarrying another. I
I mean,
love those terms, by the way. Can we put this up? This is actually hilarious. That is rough. Okay. You're
yeah.
doing a good job if you're doing that work.
Yeah, I would never get that right ever.
It's hard to bring a character back to life or like change a relationship status. That's a whole thing. I think that might even be harder than like dropping a plot line. You know?
No, I
No.
think dropping a plot line is harder because there's always those little like foreshadows floating around and everything that like although the one that you are working on, I guess it's a little bit easier because you have characters in different parts of the world that aren't really
Yes, yes, I do.
interacting. So I guess in that case it's easier.
Yes, yes, that's right. Right. If I like unship a character, that ruins everything for me. But it can't happen. It just doesn't. It just doesn't.
Right. I have
Um,
shipped them. It is done.
I've shipped them from the start. It
Yeah.
can no longer change.
No. This is my ship, and it will not be altered.
It will not. It will not be. Ooh, but so so we're all in some state of getting something done, even if it is moping. That is good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like we should talk about the ad challenge at some point too, since we're now like a week out from it. But that might be a little depressing because I think that Chloe's getting some reads, but like my ads are like still going but getting me no sales.
Right.
Which is,
And I feel like again we're still looking at that thing that like this was only 2 weeks ago that we even started making ads.
yeah.
So
So
yeah, there's just not enough data yet.
no, right. So we have very little to say about ads except that like we're both still running them.
Yes. Yeah.
And neither of us are rich yet.
Our results.
Yeah, yeah. So maybe what we should do at the 15-minute break is talk about Lucifer, because I think we promised that last time.
Did we?
Well, if we didn't, we should have.
That's fair. Yeah. I started, I know we mentioned this last week. I started Warrior Nun. I only got 2 episodes into it though.
I'm dying to watch Warrior Nun.
You have to get through the first episode. Like
Okay.
when we hit the end of the first episode, I was like, I'm not 100% on this, but like I'm enough on this that I'm good to keep going into the next episode. Whereas like the other one that we watched recently, the I am not okay with this. Like I was 5 minutes into that show and I was like, this is it. This is everything. This is my entire life.
It is everything.
Warrior Nun, I needed 2 episodes to be sold on it.
Okay, what should our word prompt be for this? Let's do let's free write for 30 minutes. I don't want to waste time coming up with a prompt.
That's fair. That's fair. We are on free write. We will see you guys at 1/2 past the hour.
Okay, we are back.
Yes.
Yes. I am doing really well with the chapter that I'm on.
Good.
Yeah. I'm going to have to cut so much more out than I actually am, but at least the plot will be coherent when I'm done with this, and that's super positive.
And you knew that going into this, right? Like you knew that you were going to have to do a couple rounds of chopping.
Yeah, like a couple of rounds, and I'll have to decide what I'm being just really indulgent about, but it's still,
But that's editing.
that is editing. Yes.
Yeah.
So okay, so you started watching Warrior Nun. You don't think
I
it's as
did.
good as the what's it called? I am not okay with this. Is that
I'm not okay with this. I am not okay with this. This is an amazing show. If any of you guys have not heard of it or checked it out, I highly recommend it. It is based on a comic, which also Warrior Nun is also based on a comic. But it is a girl who is discovering that she has superpowers, as like her life is also kind of falling apart, and she's just like a really awkward and relatable, and like, you know, she is in high school and is like anti-glamorous. You know, there's no like all those things that you see in teen dramas that you're like, oh, that's not what high school is really like. Like it's a much more accurate depiction of like what it's like to be in a shitty high school in like shitty Western Pennsylvania. And she's just awkward and nobody likes her. She's got that like one friend and then the guy that's crushing on her. And also she can blow things up with her mind.
It's so good. It's so like YA contemporary meets like magic and realism superpowers in like the best way. Like, I don't know, like John Green and Rainbow Rowell got together and decided they were going to write like a fantasy superhero thing. I loved it. I loved it. I'm going to be so sad if it doesn't come back. It has to come back.
Right. And I hear that the comic is actually kind of terrible.
Oh, I believe
like
that.
In comparison. So, which, yeah, that's not an unusual thing. Things get really wonky when you do adaptations. And normally if it's being adapted into a television show, the television show is better because they can delve into stuff more. But yeah, everybody I've heard of who's gone from the show to the comics have been really let down by the comics.
Actors really like, I don't know, they brought that to life. They did a good job. The protagonist, the girl in particular, wow, she was so good, and I felt like I loved her. I loved her. I sympathized with everything she did.
Yeah,
I loved her the guy that had the crush on her. I loved him. I loved her like Olivia's best friend.
Yeah, they were so like everybody was so awkward together, and yeah, I love the entire show.
Very.
So yeah, like everything's the best up right now because of Corona. So like it's hard to know what shows are going to come back afterward. This show did not seem to be getting much coverage, so I'm worried about it, but they did a really good job with it.
You know, and it's funny like what things they save, right? So Lucifer, I'm such a fan, but I feel like that has this enormous fan base, right? Like it's so universally easy to love if you're like basically a woman between the ages of what, like maybe
25 to 45.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you could love this for decades.
Yeah.
But it's so yeah, so that was like very easy to bring back. And I mean, come on, like who doesn't come back for Tom Ellis? Everybody comes back for Tom Ellis. But I think the I am not okay with this show falls more into like did you watch Anne with an E?
No.
So that one was also like, I mean, it's very YA. It's Anne of Green Gables. It's a really good adaptation, or it was until season 3, when they found out that they were going to have to be canceled and like suddenly the writers like it's like they get to maybe the, I don't know, the last couple episodes, and you can tell they've been told they're about to be canceled, and oh my god, they suddenly have to shove like a huge romance arc into like 3 episodes and resolve everything with all of the characters for like eternity. And it's way too fast, and it doesn't work the way that you want it to. And that was like the saddest thing ever, that they took this really good show and then like kind of destroyed it in the last couple of episodes because it just didn't have the fan base. Those make me sad. I mean, at least they got a chance to kind of end things.
Yeah. Yeah, because there are enough shows out there that there's literally just like that one season it never, I'm thinking of like, not that they did a great job with it, but like the Secret Circle that they did the entire plot line of the actual books. And then they were like, we're introducing this new thing. And I was like, what is this new thing? That's kind of weird. And then it was show over. They didn't get renewed for their second season. So I have no idea where they were going with that. And I just wanted to know.
I was very sad about the Secret Circle. You know what else? So, I mean, other shows, Mozart in the Jungle. Malcolm and I watched Mozart in the Jungle like religiously. And this is another where it would be kind of like a little obscure. It was done so well. And then they just ended it. Like they needed one more season and then gone. We're never going to find out what happens. And like that was terrible because their big romance arc, they broke the characters up in like the very last season. And then it didn't get renewed. So like you never find out what. Yeah.
So it was like leaving Lucifer on the big reveal where she finds out that he's actually Lucifer, and then you never go anywhere from that.
Yes, it would be exactly like that. Like we're all totally in love. Everything's gonna be okay. Oops, no, it's not. We're gonna break up over like an identity crisis. The end. And that's. There was another show too. Malcolm and I have really bad luck with this stuff.
You're killing shows. Did you watch Firefly? Is Firefly your fault?
No, Firefly isn't my fault, and I've never watched it because I feel like I'll be crushed if I do.
So the nice thing I will say with Firefly is that they did get to make that movie. So Firefly is one season, and then it was taken off. And everybody raged. So they did a movie. They did like a regular hour-and-a-half movie, Serenity, that kind of wrapped it up some. So at least the plot lines were not, at least you had some idea of where the characters were going to go from the end. They also like killed off some characters in the movie that like you just want to like go slaughter the writers for killing off those characters. Like, how dare you? How dare you kill them? Oh my God. Why would you do this to me? I hate you. And like, what's going to happen if you do get renewed in 10 years? But I will say, like, as long as you go into Firefly knowing that that's going to happen, I watched it after it was all said and done, and I enjoyed it.
That is. I do wish that more shows were saved, like Lucifer. Yeah. Like that was a worthy. Mm-hmm. They've been renewed for like a 6th season too.
Yes,
I don't even know how to feel about that.
Going strong.
Yeah, but like if you were the writers, wouldn't you have a little bit of like an oh shit, like we knew what we were gonna do with this, and now we have a whole nother season. Like where to go? So many possibilities. And I fear for that. Like I'm very nervous that that's going to actually like ruin their, their sort of like jive. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to be very upset if Lucifer ends badly. That show has to end well. Like
I'm worried with Lucifer that it's now running too long.
Right.
Yeah, and that's another problem. Like that was a big problem with a few of the shows that I've really loved is that they've just run too long. Sometimes shows do just need to end. Like Buffy was pretty weird by the end of it, and there's
it's hard to pull off like a perfect ending. I will. Okay, so She-Ra, the cartoon,
yeah.
the Princess of Power cartoon. If you guys have not watched that, that was freaking amazing. Like amazing and wonderful, and it ended this year, and it was perfect. Like there is not a single thing about that show where, like, not a single loose end where I was like, oh well, they didn't cover this. They covered everything. So for what it's worth, you should all totally binge watch She-Ra.
She-Ra.
Yeah, the cartoon. Much better than Voltron. Voltron had a terrible ending. These were important things. Like, She-Ra was great because it had a She-Ra actually had a lesbian couple that was like the main couple. There were two girls, they were shipped together. It was good. Like a really good plot line. It was believable. I loved it. Oh, somebody else is watching it. Sarah's watching She-Ra. Yes. It's super body positive. Like everything is there's a fun villain relationship. It's so good. So good.
We are currently watching Sugar Rush because we just need pastry in our life right now.
Sometimes Sarah, you totally understand me. Yeah, right? Because Voltron was so depressing at the end. They totally messed up their gay couple. Like that was things went terribly. Things went horribly wrong. Horribly wrong. And I was very sad over the entire thing. Right, what is this? Oh, and somebody's watching Legacies too.
Oh, I don't. Am I not up to date on Legacies?
I think you are. You watched the last season, right?
I did. There's not like a currently running season, right?
I don't think they've come back yet. I think our last season, like, we're sort of at like a cliffhanger ending.
I liked Legacies, but also I didn't watch Origins. So that could change my perspective. It also like made it confusing, of course, because like I was missing half the plot lines that it was built off of. But in the end, I think it was worth it. We're also excited that the third season of Norseman just dropped on Netflix.
I don't think I've watched Norseman. I have not done.
You might be thinking of Vikings. Norseman is
not either.
Norseman is the spoof of Vikings.
Oh.
So it is a Viking show, but it is comedy. And it's we love it.
Okay, so this is a fun
if you ever watch Gallivant, it reminds me of Gallivant, but not a musical.
No, a lot of stuff like if I'm doing
Gallivant, it's hilarious.
I should do it. Space Force was freaking hilarious. That is.
We only got like 3 episodes into it, and then we got sidetracked by something else. But like what I saw of it was pretty funny.
It got terrible reviews. Like people either sort of like hated it or loved it, and there were enough people who hated it to like make the reviews look bad. But we were so into it, both me and my husband. We could have.
Why is she in prison?
Isn't that an interesting question? Wouldn't you like to know? I don't think they never.
Oh no!
Yeah, no, but it's.
I do.
Yeah. I mean, obviously that has to come back, right? Like if that doesn't come back, then the world has gone into an apocalyptic way that cannot be recovered from. Also, we need to start writing again.
We do.
Yes.
We do. Okay. All right. So we're gonna write for the next 10 minutes. If I'm really delayed, Sandy is delayed on my end, so I don't know if we're not syncing up. Sandy's kind of jumping in and out on me. But so we're gonna write for the next 10 minutes. It is 4:15, so we will see you guys at 5:00.
I forgot to mute us out, and my dog is doing that.
Yeah, your dog is freaking out.
She's wigging out. Yeah, there's. This is all gone. Clearly, it's almost 6 o'clock.
It is. We've reached that point anyway.
So sorry, everybody. I think that probably means we've got to end, or at least I've got to mute. So hopefully everybody gets the work done. Yeah. And hopefully we see you all next week. Thanks for joining us if you came.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah. All right. We'll be back next week. We'll see you later. Bye.